This is ridiculous. I have been a fine employee for over 10 years.
How you sleep at night, man? Huh? How's your family? They sleeping well at night? Electricity still on? Heat still on?
This is what I get in return for 30 years of service for my company.
You have a lot of gall coming in here and firing your #1 producer, and then you're gonna go home tomorrow and make more money than you've ever made in your life, and I'm gonna go home without a paycheck.
I guess you'd leave me dumbfounded. I don't know where this is coming from.
I can't afford to be unemployed.
I don't know how you can live with yourself, but I'm sure that you'll find a way while the rest of us are suffering.
Why me?
What am I supposed to do now?
Am I supposed to feel better that I'm not the only one losing my job?
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Huge announcement today at 5:30. All right, 5:30 Central Time, which would be about 4 hours after I upload this video. I'm doing a live stream beard removal. You're not going to want to miss this. Nick Ricade is going to be here. It's going to be a good time. I really hope you'll stop by. 5:30 this afternoon. Now, Elon Musk just completed his meeting with Twitter, and he told them a lot of things. The idea of the meeting was try to ease some concerns, stop some, of this wild speculation, but also to expectation set. He talked about things today like having layoffs, hinting that layoffs are in fact coming, and a wide variety of other things. I have a whole list of everything he's told them. And we're going to go through it now and see how it all plays out after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Heroes of the Dark. Heroes of the Dark is a unique blend of strategy and RPG genres where players can enjoy their favorite in-game features like collecting and strategically deploying their heroes in battle, while also taking over and dominating the entire world with their guildmates. The visuals in this game are second to none, extraordinarily high quality. There are tons of different heroes in the game, and tons of features like PvP and PvE battles. There's all sorts of great races for fighting and global domination, whether it's vampires, werewolves, and humans. To survive, players must recruit, equip, and train heroes from each faction. Heroes of the Dark is available on iOS, Android, and PC. By clicking on the link in the description, you'll benefit from a great offer, a free vampire, Countess Magla, to get your journey started in Tenebris. Use the link in the description of the pinned comment down below to check out Heroes of the Dark. All right, now the meeting ended about 30 minutes ago, and here's some of the things that were talked about. First and foremost, meeting has ended and employees are worried about layoffs. The all-hands meeting concluded around 1 o'clock Eastern time. According to a source, the majority of the reaction on Twitter's Slack messaging board were negative in nature. Employees expressed that many of their worries about layoffs, remote work, and reduced focus on content moderation and inclusion and diversity measures were confirmed. So essentially, Elon confirms their worst nightmares. I wonder how many people work at the job who work there and aren't they're just, busy doing their job and they don't spend all day on company Slack message boards. I gotta imagine there's some people that are doing work there, but nonetheless. Employees also sent memes about how to brand themselves as exceptional, according to the source, an apparent reference to Musk's note that exceptional employees could likely continue to work remotely and they would not have to fear layoffs. He also talked about wanting Twitter to reach 1 billion daily active users. Success at Twitter would look like a significant increase in daily active users, potentially topping 1 billion. Musk said that according to a source, Twitter said in its Q1 2022 earnings, it had 229 million monthly daily active users. Musk's definition of success would also include whether Twitter is helping further civilization and consciousness, he said. Now, what I thought was really interesting is, it seems like Elon is still serious about taking over Twitter, following through. Now, when I look, his bid is what, $54.20. Every time I look at this at $37.70 right now in their stock price, I'm like, maybe I should pick up a few shares. But then I realize I don't have enough money to make it worth it if the deal fell apart, I'm sure their stock would be halved. Like if I had wealth, if I had like Tim Pool money, you might buy 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, but I don't. So I'll just fantasize about it, just like GameStop. Freaking GameStop. Anyway, some of the other things he talked about, it's interesting, that the reaction is as it has been. Like, is not exactly. He basically confirmed all their worst fears. Musk briefly diverts into a conversation about discussion about aliens. He says he hasn't actually seen evidence of aliens. Musk says he doesn't care about being CEO. Musk doesn't care about being the CEO of Twitter, he said, according to a source. He said he cares about driving the product in a particular direction, but he's not too hung up on titles. Now, here's the real bombshell. Users should be allowed to say what they want on Twitter, Musk says. When it comes to legal but potentially harmful speech, Musk told Twitter employees that people should be allowed to say what they want. That's different from Twitter promoting hate speech, or I'm sorry, that's different from Twitter promoting that speech, Musk said, according to the source. Users have the right to filter out content that they don't want to see, he added. Musk said that the standard is much more than not offending people. It's that they are entertained and informed. Musk reiterated a sentiment he made online earlier that if 10% of the far left and far right are upset, Twitter is doing the right thing. Addressing the topic of inclusion and diversity, Musk said that the most inclusive thing to do would be to get all humans on Twitter. Ha! Got him! He also said that he believes in strict meritocracy. This is something that flies directly in the face of diversity and inclusion efforts. I mean, that's just the sad truth of it. Just look at all the things that we've done on this channel, covered on this channel. Anytime we talk about DE and I, or DI, E and E, the diversity and inclusion departments, they're looking at people's skin color, not their skill sets. They're putting out weird postings about jobs like, hey, if you're a bi person of color, you should really apply for this job, which is another way of saying, like, white guys don't apply. That's what diversity and inclusion departments do. They are like legal racism and discrimination under the guise of progression. And, it's just never been a good thing. Musk said layoffs at Twitter will depend on its financial situation. Quote, it depends. The company does need to get healthy, Musk said, according to the source. Right now, the costs exceed the revenue. Musk said that there has to be some rationalization of headcount or else Twitter won't be able to grow. That means layoffs. Anyone who is a significant contributor has nothing to worry about, he said. Ooh, I bet you there's a lot of people at Twitter who are not significant contributors and who are now very concerned. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that there are, and by the way, if you're a Twitter employee, I can't believe I haven't had one reach out yet. I mean, I have people inside of Blizzard, Microsoft, even these super like progressive companies, in the video game world, always have somebody reaching out. Can't seem to get anyone from Twitter to share sources with me, which that's fine, I guess. But I'm surprised that there isn't at least one person that works there that isn't thinks that Elon buying is a good thing. And then he broke all of their hearts. Musk, who recently told his employees at Tesla to come back to work in their offices 40 hours a week or resign, seemed to draw a distinction between working remotely at the car company and at Twitter. Tesla makes cars. You can't make cars remotely, Musk said, according to a source familiar with the matter. Musk did not detail what his policy on remote work would look like for Twitter employees and said if someone is exceptional at their job, remote work is fine, according to the source. But Musk said he has a strong bias towards working in person. Musk on how he can build trust. Quote, if someone is getting useful things done, that's great. If they're not, then I'm like, why are they at the company? Jeez. Musk on free speech. Paraphrased. People should be allowed to say anything they want, but it doesn't mean Twitter should promote it. Musk on why he loves Twitter. Why I love Twitter. I learn a lot from what I learn on Twitter. It's a great way to get the message out. Some people use their hair to express themselves. I use Twitter. I mean, the idea that, you know, so they're very, I think it's funny that the biggest concern that the employees have is like working from home. Can we still work from home? Now, look, I'm not dogging on work at home people. I've said that my opinion has changed over the years on working from home. And I even had some angry people emailing me some phony baloney case studies that tried to say people are far more productive when they work from home. That's not been my experience. Okay. They are happier when I let them work from home. I mean, Maggie works from home 4 days a week. She comes in 1 day a week and she lives 10 minutes away. She's a mom, and you know, I'm being such a progressive woman respecter. I let her work from home. All of my employees, my video editors, all work from home, and they do just fine. Now, if they were sitting right here, I know I could squeeze more production out of them. We could be doing more things. We could be working on bigger projects because I'd see when they had downtime, you know, and I'd have them working on other projects. But I also understand that, you know, my way of thinking is antiquated, and maybe today's workforce, you know, it's a really big deal to be able to work from home. I think that working from home, just like learning remotely, robs people of collaborative things that you just can't replace. You know, you can't replace having people in a room bouncing ideas off each other in real time. You can't replace that with any Slack messaging board. But I think most jobs, you know, if you can work remotely, then that's the requirement nowadays. But I think, you know, him saying Elon hints that layoffs are in Twitter's future, anybody with half a brain knows that massive layoffs are going to happen at Twitter. I'm going to guess between 10 and 20% minimum, because they need to make a big cut. And like I always thought, you know, I was always taught in corporate America too, cut once, cut deep. You don't do like a 5% layoff, then another 2%, then another 2%, because people will get frazzled. And it's not fair to keep, you know, have your employees worried about their job. They're not doing their job if they're worried about their job. So I assume when he takes over, he'll cut at least 1,000 employees almost immediately. And that's a lot of salary, you know, and millions and millions of dollars in salary. And that's probably, those are the people who are probably the most vocal right now. The 200 to 400 people that they have monitoring quote unquote hate speech, that they know that when Elon comes in, he's just going to close the doors on their department. They're probably the ones that are most vocal right now. I think the hard workers, the developers and things of that, the engineers and things like that, the people are working on the back end tech of it and delivering the service, they're not worried one bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.